I can assure you he is truly a very sick boy.
I think you mean sick girl.
Utah come to be for you?
So I'm from Utah. And then I was living in LA, and then when I got COVID and got sick, I moved home. And then I work out of LA, but like all my specialists are here. And the idea of trying to like find new specialists somewhere else, like it's just easier to go back and forth on it. So yeah.
The sick and sad thing that you're like, it's actually easier to live in two places than switch everything over because that will be a nightmare.
Yeah, right? Crazy.
I
I
had
know.
a friend recently like propose to me in the pool because she knows I have such shitty insurance and have been having such a hard time with the neurologist appointments. And she was like,
Ugh.
just get married to me and you can be on my insurance. And I was like, but you don't understand. We're gonna get married, and then all the marriage stuff is gonna mess up the insurance stuff, and then we're gonna have to start over. So it might be better insurance, but then I'm gonna have to like go from the beginning again. I'm like, what am I
Yes.
doing? Declining a marriage. I'm in no position to decline a marriage.
You have MS, right?
Yes.
What was your first symptom of MS?
Well, I'm sure you've probably had like a similar background to me, but I've been like sick since I was a kid, teenager. But
Yeah.
and they always were like it's autoimmune, and my mom was like constantly test for like MS, lupus, stuff like that. But she's in the exutory diagnosis, which is fibromyalgia.
Okay.
And so when I started exhibiting autoimmune type symptoms, my mom was like, "Oh, this is giving autoimmune disease." But
Yeah.
because my family actually wants me sick and dead, they were like, "No doctors." Like they're weird hippies where like anytime I would like have a OME, they'd like withhold Dayquil from me. But I moved to New York after I graduated high school to start stand up. And I noticed when I got to New York, I was like taking the subway a bunch and there's like, tons of stairs. And I noticed my hips and knees were always just like aching. And time I was 18, I was like, I'm so young and tight. Why do I feel like an old person?
Yeah.
So I took myself to a rheumatologist on like my state health insurance. And then they said I had this thing called sacroiliitis, if you've ever heard of it.
I
Um,
haven't.
no lubrication in between your joints. So when your joints are
Okay.
moving, they're just like
A bone on
eroding on
bone.
each other. Exactly, which is fun, right? We're having
Right?
fun.
I know. Love it.
And so when all of I've been in and out of the hospital and sick, but it's always been like sending me home with like go see a specialist. We don't really know, and it could be
Yeah.
from the sacroiliitis. It could not be. So it wasn't until literally a couple months ago when I stopped being able to walk that I got the brain scan back, and there was a lesion on my brain, and I never for there to be anything on my brain scans, but then also
Yeah.
like a part of me was kind of relieved that like
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
finally something to
It's
show for how
yeah,
sick
because
I
then you have
feel.
something to treat too.
Exactly.
I got I I mean I was yeah sick off and on my whole life. And I probably looking back had a lot of these conditions before, but then when I got COVID, I got really sick. And that kind of like I guess like flared up all the problems. But yeah, no, it's a lot of like you see a doctor and they're like, I don't deal with that, so go see them and it's just like piecing it together yourself is so difficult.
I know a comic who has long COVID that I've known for a while. And so I knew her before COVID and then I saw her after and I like did a show with her even this was like right before the MS stuff
Yeah.
earlier in the year. And she's like still wearing a mask out. And I even though I know it's funny, I'm like the most like knowing person about this,
Yeah.
you're still like, oh, do you need that? And then you're
Yeah.
in the position and you're like, oh my god, like what am I thinking? We have such a horrible connotation of white women getting autoimmune diseases.
I know. Because you had tests, but then was it like one day like you woke up and like was your walk like walking progressively getting worse, or was it just like you woke up and you couldn't?
I was filming a short film with me and my friends, and it was like we had like no money behind it, and we were just like me and my most talented friends. I was like, let's dedicate this one weekend to shoot this thing.
Yeah.
I was like, of course, like stressed in a normal way about it because I was in charge of everyone coming together and making something, but I was excited and like anticipating it. And I remember a couple days before that shoot, I started feeling tingling in my left hand. And
Okay.
because I don't have insurance and I'm also single, I was like, okay, this is the stranger's hand now, I guess,
Yeah.
because I will not be getting this checked out immediately.
Yeah.
And you know how it is with autoimmune disease stuff. It's like you have all these like crazy symptoms, and then you'll worry about it, and then you'll go into a hospital, and they'll just be like, "There's not nothing we can do. Like,
Right. Yeah.
change your diet or whatever." That stupid
Yeah.
shit they say, which obviously is important, but not the main thing.
Yeah. Change your lifestyle.
I'm like, oh yeah, I must be the one making my hand go numb. I think
Right.
I'd know if I was sleeping on my hand. Then I did the film, and I was feeling it very much in my hand, and then I went to Sundance, which its last festival was in Park City this past
Hmm.
year. And Park City's like cold, it's like a mountain town,
Yeah.
and it started to spread on my entire left side, and like
Oh,
I remember talking to people there and slurring my words and being like, why do I sound drunk right now? But like, I'm
yeah.
not drinking, and I'm just like messing up on certain things. I'm clumsy as hell. And I've always been kind of just like clumsy. And then when I got back from Sundance, I was like, oh, this feels like it's getting worse. I think I might just have to like bite the bullet and go to the ER. And so
Yeah.
I was like, let me, one last night, I'll sleep it off. And
Yeah.
then when I woke up the next morning, I tried to take my dog Bonnie out, and I blacked out for a second, and then I wasn't able to like stay standing by myself.
Yeah.
ER,
Yeah.
and I had no idea that or say that I have MS. Honestly, it's funny because I stopped being able to walk, and I was still like, I think everything's gonna be
He's
fine. They're gonna
yeah.
send me home and be like, she's just being a crazy lady.
Yeah. So yeah, just a little numb. Yeah.
That's normal. You know how they also, it's so funny that they'll say things about like you lose sensation or like you lose a certain thing that you used to be able to do before, and they'll be like, well, that's not a big deal, and you're like, why are you
Yes.
not focused on getting that back? That's
Right.
crazy.
Right. I know it's sometimes like I'll be like I feel like I could walk into certain doctors and be like I am bleeding from my eyeballs and they'd be like it's probably anxiety.
I got into the ER. I got into the ER. It was during the Minneapolis protests, and it was I was in. They didn't have any wheelchairs left in the hospital. I was like, "You're a hospital, but okay."
Yeah.
And I finally get up, and I get this he him doctor. Seems like a UTI. Okay, that is you're on your period because you're acting crazy right now. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like I could have been like bleeding out, gunshot wound victim, and he would have been
Yeah.
like, seems like a UTI. I was like, no, it's giving stroke. Like we have to get a brain scan. That's how they
Yeah.
said it. They're Gen Z doctors. It's
Yeah.
giving stroke.
It's giving stroke. The vibe in here feels really strokey.
The vibe is stroke. They put on like the uns uns lights just to see if I have an epileptic attack. That's the real test.
That's hilarious.
For the brain scan, and I then they came back, and the doctor told me I had a lesion on my brain, and it was probably from MS, and I that was the first time I've ever heard of a brain lesion. So then my
Yeah.
whole world kind of was like,
Yeah. Right. It's oh, it's such a weird feeling of being like um I don't know, it's like your life flips really fast when you get something, especially like when it comes on kind of like how you're saying yours did. It's like you're like, okay, what do I do now?
MS specifically because I just now know so many people from they've shared their stories, and it is like all of the sudden either someone can't walk or someone's blind in their left eye. It's like
Yeah.
just imagine waking up and one day like the thing that you need to function in everyday life is like away from you. And I bet you feel this way with your just body just feeling like it's failing you. And
Yeah.
it's very confusing because it makes you also feel like a kid where you're like, I know
Hmm.
what I'm supposed to be doing, but like my body can't compute
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I feel a lot of the time like because I have when I have like I have POTS, so when I have like a fainting episode, like my brain is fine. I know what's going on, but I can't get my body to stop, obviously like passing out. But in my mind, I also start to like gaslight myself. I'm like, just try harder, actually like just push through it. Like you don't need to pass out. And I'm like, oh, but I can't it's just this weird like fight in your own brain of like I know that my body is doing this to me, but also because my brain isn't losing it, I'm like, I don't know. It just is like a weird tug of war for me.
And the intersectionalism of because things like this, it is really important that we have Eastern and Western medicine and like, get your both your fix of feeling like, oh, I just had a lot of people being like, especially when it's neurological stuff, they're like, you can change it, like in your head and
Yes.
your attitude. And I'm like, I don't necessarily agree that disagree that an amazing spirit helps you while you're being sick, but I don't think
Yeah.
you can maybe like retrain it over time, which is what, I feel like autoimmune disease is really just like retraining your body and nervous system. But I'm also like, yeah, like eating a sandwich or like do it like you're not the one who's making yourself get POTS and faint.
Yes.
And but sometimes people act like it's like something you can like if you have some self-care, you can help.
Right. If you just exercised more, you could probably
Yeah.
work your way out of it. Yeah, no, people, it's such a funny thing, especially because they can't see it. So they're like, oh, it's like, because I don't look sick. Like, I don't feel like you look sick. And it's like, but that doesn't mean I don't feel internally horrible.
Because I needed the cane when I first got out of the hospital. And I need it a lot less now, but I still use it for
Yeah.
every time I go out to shows or like longer periods of times. Because it's
Abs-
like one, I need it to like rest because my brain isn't like getting tons of oxygen, so I need to like sit more. So it also like
Yeah.
signals to people, which is nice. And it gives me extra support. But I learned some like now this in this phase of my physical healing, I'm like it is actually just nice to have the cane for people to see that like
Yeah.
I am actively sick. It's funny how like humans, no matter how much we've all been through and how many people we know that have been sick or us personally, like still it's really nice to have like a visual
Yeah,
distinguish of
totally.
like that person's a little different.
Yeah. I think it's amazing that you like use your cane and like bring it up on stage because am sup I'm like during the summer when the heat really triggers my POTS and I have like
The
a
heat
whole
makes me worse too. It's
yeah,
horrible.
I have like a whole list of random like rare conditions, but I have really severe nerve damage in my feet and it's like so when that flares I need to like use my cane because it hurts so bad to walk. But for some reason I'm like I feel like if I use it people are going to be like, "Oh, why wasn't I here yesterday?" or like why do you need it now? And then I don't know. I've been always like so nervous about using it on stage, but like I don't know. I see your videos and I'm like, I think it's so awesome that you just like own it. I think it's great.
Yes, truly fuck what anyone else thinks. And I think I had a thought of that when I started to get less, like, it was noticeably like I needed it before. And now it's like, I tried not using it the other day and I tripped and I was like, oh, this wouldn't be worth it if I fell and I hurt myself even more. And then I like lost more
Yeah,
independence. And
yeah,
then plus, it's like, uh, it's first of all, people aren't really thinking of like if you're using it or not using it that much. Like it's like anything else where you're like, oh, people aren't really thinking of me that
yeah,
much. I forgot about
yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
like going to the gym and you're like, everyone's watching me. It's like, honey,
Right.
no one's watching
No one's
you.
looking.
And then when it is people that are asking about it, it's of course annoying ass fucking stupid ass
Right,
men being like,
right.
so what's the cane for? And then I
Yeah.
usually say something like, oh, it's from the vaccine. So I'm like, I don't even have to deal with you. So yeah, you could use stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I think we should. I also being on the Reddits and stuff with other MS people and them
Mm,
encouraging to use the cane, so then you can also live more of a full life because it
yeah,
helps you like save energy when you go
absolutely.
do stuff. And it is like, yeah, I'm 26 and I'm using a fucking cane, but I'm also like, if I, you can make it iconic. You can make it
Yeah.
iconic.
Have you heard of fashionable canes?
No, but my friend did bedazzle my cane, and I'll
Shut up.
admit it's like a little too short for me, but I don't want to get a new one because she
It's like
hand bedazzled that one.
I I just learned there's a website called fashionablecanes.com and you can get like glow in the dark ones and
When was like the first time you got the cane and had to start using it?
um I got probably five five years ago. I started so I had two leg surgeries and I couldn't walk on my legs for like 6 to 8 weeks. The nerve block that they gave me damaged my nerves from my knee down. And so I was
I'm
using
so sorry.
it could be worse. But I was using a crutch for a long time and then I was like also continually like getting less healthy. So then it was like I was diagnosed with POTS and all these other things and it just like sometimes I use a cane. I will sometimes like if I go to like Disneyland or the airport, I'll use a wheelchair. Um
Friend that works at Disney was like gonna bring me one day last week, and she was like, "Well," I was like, "There's no way I can
mhm.
stand and walk around." And she's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we'll get you a wheelchair." It is really interesting being that type of disabled person where you're like,
Hmm.
obviously, our friends and people closest to our conditions understand, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's really opening up my world
Yeah.
to it as well.
Yeah, totally. I feel like when I use it, especially like at Disneyland, and they take you like to the back of the rides because it wasn't like set up for wheelchairs. I feel like when I get out and stand up and walk onto the ride, people are like, "Oh, she's faking it." Um, but I don't know. I'm like, I'd be passing out if I was standing in line, and that would
Yeah.
be a problem. So,
Of course, that would be a problem.
yeah,
Oh my God. And Lena Dunham has POTS, right?
I
Or
think so.
I just read Fame Sick. And I think she's
Yeah,
also in the autoimmune world too, where it's like
yeah,
a bunch of different stuff. But at one point, I think she was like in the ICU getting like cysts removed from her
jeez,
ovaries and then while making girls, which is really
that's insane.
crazy looking back on it because you're like, it's the show that I loved and like also just always thought she was incredible. And then you watch it back and you're just like, this girl's like bleeding out of her uterus
Yeah,
and is still like having to work 13-hour days.
yeah,
And we're just lucky to still have her, even though
right.
people have been so cruel to her. I'm like, thank God
I
she's
know.
back because we need her.
I know, and I emailed them because I wanted to interview her, and they sent me her book, and I need to read it. But I just have been. This sounds so stupid, but with my POTS and like my brain stuff, like reading is really hard now. So I do a lot of audiobooks because like I feel like I have to reread everything like several times, and my eyes don't track very well anymore, and so it's like it's just a task. Like I have to set time aside. So I haven't read started it yet,
Yes,
but I've heard it's good.
yeah, she does the audiobook too, so it's nice to
Oh,
like listen to her
I could do that.
voice. Yeah, and it's funny that you bring the reading stuff up too because when I first got out of the hospital and I was like, well, it's like this weird thing I was learning about MS and then having to navigate the healthcare system, but then I also was separately like, brain lesions and spine lesions are like under the umbrella of MS, but
Hmm.
it's strange that people aren't like also separately talking about, a brain lesion is like it's like a TBI, like a traumatic brain injury. Like
Yeah,
these stuff also make us have like these brain injuries and brains take a really long time to heal
yeah,
and stuff like reading and I was like doing it every day and like counting it as like physical rehab
yeah,
because
totally.
it does feel like tons of work.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Do you feel like since you've been diagnosed, like, are they, do you have treatment that it's like getting better, hopefully?
The really fucked up part. And even though I think I'm special in other ways, I know I'm not special in this way. But it's been 160 days since initial hospitalization and then finding the brain lesion and telling me that I have MS.
Yeah.
And I when I went into the hospital, I didn't have insurance. When I was like in an in between period because I moved from I was like living in New York and then I was living out of a van and doing stand up all over, and then I moved here this past year. And so I was
Yeah.
in between the state health insurance in New York, and then I just happened to be in that like lapse period. And
Yeah.
so thank God I had to, while I was in the hospital getting treatment for, I got like the steroids to take the inflammation down, which is like a whole nother thing. I can't even believe that they give us. It's like a necessary evil to take
Yeah.
the inflammation in your brain down, but like also like steroids.
Ooh.
I'm like I have roid rage while I
Yeah.
have a brain lesion. Are you kidding?
Right? I
And
yeah.
people's like teeth fall out after shit like that. I'm like,
Jeez.
is no one gonna tell me I have MS and I'm gonna be ugly now
Yeah,
too?
right. Like I have to have both. Great.
Great. Exactly. I'll pick one next time.
Yeah.
And they when it was like the second to last day, it was like right before it turned February 1st, and I applied for like LA state health insurance, and thank God I did it when I was in my hospital bed so I could get it before like the new year kicked off. And so
Yeah.
now I'm on this like really shitty California health insurance, the HMO, where you have to go through your primary to
Mm,
get the referral appointments.
yeah.
So what's been happening is like, and I'm sure you know this, it's really important for whatever you have to have a doctor that specializes in
Yeah.
your illness, because it's like a neurologist, it's actually crazy. If you go to just a neurologist, they might not even really know that much about MS. So
Yeah.
I had to find my primary had to ask Cedar Sinai, that has an MS department, to get me in, even though they don't take people with my insurance. And then they basically like, if your case is like get they they most likely approve, and they did, but it took so long. So I only saw a neurologist just typically after initial hospitalization, like a week or two after. I
Yeah.
saw the neurologist 120 days after, and
Jeez.
I'm still not any treatment because she was like, yeah, it's giving MS, and then it also might be like other autoimmune disease stuff. So I want you to see a rheumatologist and
Uh,
the eye doctor too before we put you on treatment. So if the other stuff as well, you're not on like 8 different medications. But
yeah.
it it feels crazy to me because I'm like, I understand the sentiment of that, but I know people that have had flare ups like in multiple times in the year. And
Yeah.
with MS, it's once you have lesions, it's irreversible. But the medicine that they do have is in hopes that once you get on it, it prevents further damage. And
Okay.
sometimes that's not always the case for people, but it's like it's a hopeful line of treatment.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just in fucking purgatory, psychological
Yeah.
torture, just being like, okay, well, when is the next lesion gonna hit? I
Right.
guess.
Oh, that's crazy because I know that there's like things that I I get when you get diagnosed that they want to make sure it's exactly what it is. But as the person, you're like, okay, but in the meantime, I'm getting worse and I'm scared. Also, neurology is the most annoying department of medicine, in my opinion. I I have migraines and I have so they thought I had MS because my throat's like partially paralyzed and I can't swallow very well. And then I've had like white dots on my brain since I was a kid.
Seriously, when you are sick and then you start having to read stuff about this and learn about it, you're like, wait, I'm as smart as a neurologist. I know as much as
Yeah.
you know about this. It like me and my friend were having a conversation about this, and I was really trying to understand like the complex of its own myelin sheath. And then you get to
Right.
this conclusion that you're like, oh, I know as much as doctors know. Like
Yeah.
we I'm also like, I had a horrible childhood, so I'm pretty sure that's why my body's attacking itself.
I always say I'm made of spare parts. I just got what was ever left, you know? So but if they don't think it's MS, what autoimmune, do you know what autoimmune conditions they want you tested for?
And so she was like, "There's only like a really small percent chance that it wouldn't be else." And then she was like, "I happened that this would explain all the autoimmune stuff that I had
Yeah.
growing up." And they were like, "Well, maybe you should go back to a rheumatologist because they might be right about the sacroiliitis thing." And I was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, no one even
Yeah.
knows what that is." Like,
Yeah. Like, what do you just okay? Uh,
yeah, I'm like, if you're putting me on like an anti-inflammatory anyway, isn't it gonna help? But I mean, I think if I saw this neurologist like quicker out of the hospital, it would have been a less frustrating,
yeah.
because truly I only saw her for 7 minutes. And in that 7 minutes, I learned that I can smoke cigarettes, I can smoke weed, and I can drink sometimes. And I was like, okay, I guess that's all I need to know.
Yeah, like okay.
I'm 26 with MS. I got those.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know it's so hard to and like I feel like people younger people don't get it when you have a chronic illness. Like I'll go to shows and they'll be like, "Do you want to hang out after?" And I'm like, "I have to go to bed." Like I don't get to hang out late anymore. I mean, I could, but I would be in such a flare. I'm like, I picked the worst job because like if shows could be at 12 p.m., oh, I'd be fantastic.
Full that I'm like, I'm glad I was hospitalized and have a cane and they know I have MS because now my friends won't like guilt me into staying. And
Yeah.
before I thought I was like, I'm so social too. I love being out. But before I was like, oh, maybe I just like want to go home and be introverted now. But I'm like, oh no, I was fucking tired and
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah. Right. Like, oh, I was just sick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's so funny. But so you were doing stand up though before you got diagnosed, right?
2018.
Okay. Oh, me too.
It was like right before Instagram Reels and stuff like that. And I
Right.
just see like a huge, I think it really speaks to like individuality because now when we were doing stand up, I would tell people I was doing it and it wasn't like a cool thing. And now
Yeah.
so many people do it and it's online that I feel like people are starting to sound the same too.
Yes. I agree with that.
I'm glad that I started then, and I'm honestly like glad the MS stuff came at this time in my life because I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I've been doing it long enough where I can handle kind of such a dark and heavy topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I knew when I got out of the hospital, like I did a new 10 about the hospital and about like my brain lesion literally the day after I got discharged.
Nice.
And yeah, honey, that's the real incurable disease.
Right. I know you're like in the most dark place and your brain's like, oh, this could be funny.
Because I'm like, well, what else is there? It
Yeah.
is such like a real life scenario, and what I found surprising was that how many people found it to be relatable because
Yeah.
it does feel like such an alone thing when you're going through it. And then I had other comics coming up to me being like, I just went through a cancer treatment and like it inspired me to talk more about it on stage. And it's just your whole world opens up to how many people are going through stuff like this, or just either if they haven't gone through it, someone close to them has.
Yeah. Yeah. I find a lot of times I get off stage and someone's like, oh my gosh, no one's ever told me that they had the same conditions I have. And sometimes when I'm writing, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm talking too much about it. But also because it's like such a part of your life and like it doesn't like it's in everything I do, it's like I can't unsee the world without it now. So
It's just our lens now,
yeah,
and that is, I think it's kind of, I hate to be the person who's like silver linings out of things that are really bad because I don't think bad things should happen to us because we're awesome. But there are, blessings and silver linings. Like the other thing is I moved out when I was 16 because I had like an awesome childhood. And
nice.
so when I was like going through the hospital stuff, I haven't seen my parents since I was a kid, and they're not in my life. And I had like a lot of amazing friends come through, but I also have a sister. We just haven't really been close in the last couple years, and this has like really brought us together. which is
Yeah.
awesome. I knew something would. I was hoping it was like her boyfriend would end up in a coma or something like that, not me getting MS. I was like, yeah, it'd be ideal if your boyfriend was in a coma and never woke up, but I could
Yeah.
have MS instead. That's fine.
I'll take it on. That's for me. That's so funny. Yeah, it does. Yeah, there are like when you like I am glad I got it at the age I like did with as far as stand up because I moved to LA the day I graduated high school. I was yeah, and so before I got it, like I couldn't get into any of the clubs because I was 18. Um, and
Too, I used a fake ID in New York. Did you not get a fake ID out here?
no, because I am like from Utah, so I like didn't even know who to ask for a fake ID. I still don't think I could get one. I was raised Mormon. I haven't been Mormon for 12 years.
A lot of Mormons at my high school, and I actually
Okay.
dated a Mormon in high school, and he's
I'm
now like an
sorry.
Instagram influencer.
That adds up, actually. That really.
That pipeline is really strong.
Yeah, no, so I just, well, because I moved to LA with the idea that I wanted to do like Groundlings and UCB. And so I hit that really hard. And then I was like, I can't do sketches alone. Like, it was like before people were doing stuff online. Um,
Yeah,
and so I was like, I'll just do stand up and then stupidly got hooked. And here we are.
it does that when it's your thing. After you do it one time, like the first time I did it, I was like, I just don't think I ever stopped since then. It was
Right?
addictive.
I know it's like this weird, people are like, oh, are you nervous? Are you excited on stage? And I'm like, yeah, but it actually just feels really normal. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing else I would be doing.
If anything, I feel like the most myself when I'm doing
Yes.
it. And
Yeah.
it is strange to have autoimmune uh nervous system stuff because stand up is such a shot to the nervous system.
Yes. Do you
We're just
crash after?
experiencing yeah, and I also have a really hard time after sets like winding down.
Yeah.
So even if I'm like physically really tired, it takes me a while to like get to bed and emotionally, like mentally come
Yes.
down to it.
Yeah. When I get off stage, it's like I have like an adrenaline dump and I'm like, okay, I just need to get home and like get my body horizontal. But it's like I'm
Yes.
fine when I'm on stage. Like those however many minutes I get, I'm like, I'm fine.
Well, I think that's what's also so appealing to stand up with people who experience any type of pain that like you get
Yeah.
up there and you're just like devoid of pain up there. You don't
Yeah.
feel it in your body, you don't feel it in your like because I'm also talking about like really painful stuff, but I'm not like coming to it with I get to do it in a setting that makes it feel way lighter. And
Yeah.
I think that's just yeah, it's really I just love being on stage so
Yeah.
much.
Well, okay, so what is your show? What's the Legion Lady? Is it a stand-up show or is it like a sketch? What is it?
Yes. Okay. So, like I said, immediately when I got out of the hospital, I started doing stand up and talking about it. And then, so I had a date scheduled at one of the venues in LA that I do shows at of like a solo show I was working on before this, and it was mostly stand up, and it had like also I do music and stuff, so it has other
Okay.
audio elements like that. And basically, I only work on stuff like whatever's like really going on in my life. So I was working on the show before because I had an abortion last year. So I had this show called Male Abortion and I was talking about abortion. And then I was in the
Yeah.
hospital and I was like, oh my God, I can't talk about abortion now. That's so
Yeah.
boring. The date was 18 days out of the hospital and I changed it from male abortion to like lesion lady. And I was like, I don't know. Oh, I got to do an hour. Hopefully, I have a new hour of stuff. I feel like I have a lot to talk about,
Yeah.
and so I did that, and we sold it out, and it was
That's
like I
amazing.
had. Thank you so much. It's been like really cool because last night we had our fourth one ever, and it was 160 days out of the hospital. So basically, what's been happening is this studio here like that likes my stuff where they were like let me set up cameras because we want to film the shows, and so
Yeah.
we're filming every show because it's different every time because I'm like learning new stuff about my disease and
Yeah.
like walking different. And it's basically going to be turned into a stand-up special slash documentary where it shows
That's
the
awesome.
evolution of the show. while
Yeah.
the evolution of my health stuff. And yeah, we had our fourth one last night. It was four times in a row sold out in LA. Like I just think like sick people found it and have
Yeah.
been telling people about it. And yeah, it is mostly stand up, but one woman show esque. And by the end of the summer, I think I'll probably have like an hour that because what my hope is that once I get this special documentary out, is that I
Yeah.
can tour with the hour. And specifically, I would love to like for MS Society or like sick
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely.
Um, so that's kind of the goal with that.
Okay. I love that. That's amazing. I think like
Thank you.
I think that sounds like a like I wish I was in LA because I'd come see it, but I'm not there right. My job's on hiatus. I'm not there right now, but when it's out because I really want to watch it because you're like that's so amazing. I need
Stand up is such a confidence fear based thing,
hmm
and to be in a place where you're not like encouraged to take risks and like be fearless
Yeah.
with stand up. It's difficult because like you I think that's what makes stand up so good and interesting is that it's live and it's in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think when it turns into a monopoly, then and especially out here, like you were saying, there's a lot of industry out here, which is amazing. But it's also like you're doing a backyard show and there's tons of industry, so you want to do good stuff. But
Yeah.
I feel like we also should be saying more like, well, I think we can take more risks. I think
Yeah.
it's okay. Like we don't need to like be puppets to them. Like we're still amazing, even if it's not
Yeah.
like the polished material,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
think that is such I would like I need to be more like that. I think that's such a great attitude to have. And like I think it's amazing that you have an hour about your chronic illness. Like that's really, really cool.
Now it's in Hollywood Fringe, and
Yeah,
I like
congrats, by the way.
I was it was funny because it came at the same time where I was like, I need to pace myself. Like I have a disease.
Yes.
What am I
Yeah.
doing? And then we were like, no, we got to do
It
Hollywood
always
Fringe.
happens that way.
Got to strike when the iron is hot, and
I
also because
know.
it's making my spirit feel so happy. It does
Yeah.
feel worth it. And like I am really able to talk about what's going on up there. Of like last night I said some stuff that I had never even said aloud to another person before on stage. And it was like, I think it also works because I'm passionate about what I'm talking about because it's happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like with sick people too, by the time that people are like, I can't believe you've already shared about this. And I'm like, obviously share at your own pace, but I think it's linked to like how we should feel, like we should feel shame about it. But like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not my fault. I'm sick. I didn't choose this, so
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. If you have it, you should talk about it. Like, yeah, no, I think that's absolutely what like the stance to have about it. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I'm sorry you're doing all this though, because it sucks and you're like being in your 20s is hard enough. And I don't know, I really feel like it took a long time for me. I got sick at 22, I'm 28. I feel like it took a long time for me to like almost mourn, like grieve my old life and be like, I can't keep up with that anymore. And then like also though still having the same goals and dreams and like how do I work with the body that I have now? That's been a real long process for me. And the other people I've talked to, they're like kind of the same. Like it's
I've recognized how I was feeling and changed my life around that. And then this really made me do that
yeah,
because there's, this good reason. And I have just been experiencing so much grief. Crazy thing. And you usually attribute loss to like someone dying. And then you're like, oh, I guess a part of me is dying now.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
no, I
don't
mean
get
it
to
definitely
throw a
it
funeral or
right.
anything.
I know it feels like a loss. It felt for me it was like how do I because I've always been like if I'm not working on something, I feel like lazy and I'm like, okay, but there are times when I like have to rest. And I don't know, just like wrapping my head around that. And then also like I can't do late night shows and I can't do some things other comics can do. Um, just because I'm like, but I think the biggest thing was like, it's not my fault. Um, and I can't do anything about it. So
Sexy disease, first of all. Don't forget that, guys. And yourself into the ground that then your healing periods take so much longer. Like,
yeah,
this is my first MS flare up, and it's taken quite a bit to even just be able to. And I do wonder if over time I can learn that if I have to be in the hospital again for another flare up, that maybe somehow I can shorten the periods by like choosing at that night or whatever it is, because then it will lead me to like do future. I'm just not very patient, and
oh, I get it.
I'm
Yeah,
all the women I've talked to that are sick are, we're all so similar that we're really like high achieving and
yeah,
determined. And I think that's what makes the illness so frustrating too, is like you're like, no, I'll go without you, body. Like I'll be
yeah,
on this journey without you.
right.
And then you can't do that after a certain period of time.
I know it like it all catches up to you eventually, which is hard. And it's hard to be like, but I could do it. I know I used to. It's just yeah, it's hard. It sucks. It took a long time for me to be okay with. I mean, I still would rather be in LA full time, but I'm like, I don't know. I can't.
Nice for your body too to like know that it has like a home and like a
Yeah.
stable situation if you are sick and need to
Yeah.
go longer. And hopefully one day it will all also like be in.
Yeah. Also, I think with stand up lately, like you can do so much online and then like it's like I don't feel the as much need to be in LA as or anything you want other people with MS to know or like something if you could change, like go back and tell yourself.
But I guess just with being sick for so long, I was, like you were mentioned, gaslighting myself and ignoring things, because also like male doctors were, contributing to ignoring them as well.
Yeah.
And I think like your body obviously
Yes.
more than anyone, and um a lot of baddies with MS with like tough backgrounds, and I guess it's not your fault. Like
Yeah.
your body was just protecting itself during what it thought it needed to do, and then it turns
Yeah.
into this disease, and that's not our fault, but it MS. And she was like, it's funny because my disease is as aggressive and ambitious as I am. And I think that was just like, yeah, pretty much nailed it,
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah, that's such a good line. I that is so true. Well, I really, really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and be on this. It was so nice to meet you.
Finally got to talk. And